thought about it, how on my way here, and rather than what I would say, cool. And I think it was my mother. She's a very colorful, creative character, and our home was full of layers and textures and uh, and friends who were very creative. And I kind of set a nice surrounding growing up, being becoming an artist. But she was also a very strict person, and she had her rules. And one of which was that my room had to be tidy, and math homework had to be done before I could emerge into the artistic chaos. And I think that's a structure, but the structure and freedom, the balance between them, has always followed me somehow in my art making as well. So when I was 8 or 9 years old, my mom put me to an art school, which was additional curriculum to the school. It was 4 times a week, 4 hours a day, uh, and then somehow through that, I carried on the journey through high school in art. But when I was a teenager, I started writing more, and it became sort of like an internal struggle between art and writing. And I think in many ways it's carried on until relatively recently when I did my fine art studies, where the two became one, and that's why now in my art a lot of it is to do with writing and explaining what it is. I think it's important. I find it is important to explain the viewer, the visitor, what something means and what's behind it, because it can be a very daunting experience to come to a white cube gallery and look at the work and not knowing what it's about. I work a lot with nature, and my studio in this particular project was all outside. And first of all, I used nature as my canvas, but later on, as the process evolved, it started becoming a collaboration. And today, this project started 2 years ago, and it took me almost 2 years. Working with nature is one of the biggest themes within itself. And I use again one of the sentences my mother used to say all the time, that she loved reading the Light Book of Life, and it resonates working together with human but also non-human forms of living world. And in this collaboration with nature during that project, I think our journey deepens, and there are endless structures and relationships to explore. And one of the main thing is absorbing over a long period of time, because nature don't be rushed, and I'm interested in these subtle movements and shifts which are taking place and we often don't notice. So this piece is called Chic. This tree is in real life 7 meters high, and it's wrapped in a fabric. And this piece represents as the moment when I united two of my past experiences. One which is the fabric. I also studied tailoring, fashion design, and then returned back to the fine arts. But I never used to see fabric as a part of my art making until this project. And I'm very glad to be in London and part of this exhibition, because it brings me back to where my journey with the fabric started here in London, and I ended up working a decade in the fashion industry until I went back to the arts. So That's one part of it, and another part is the wrapping itself is an act of care. It's at the time when I was making it, I went through palliative care units with my mother, and she was a tailor all her life, and we had a lot of fabrics to practice and try around. But this is a recycled fabric. I do work with recycled materials only, and when I was wrapping the first tree, there was something calm and something sacred about it. And then I carried on. There are altogether 6 trees, and and once they all got wrapped around with an fabric, it was almost like dressmaking whilst I was doing it. The first part here, I did manage to do it on the ladder, and then the rest I took a crane. That was something very rewarding, working in the nature and working with my own hands and being I relied on the weather a lot because at times it was very blistery cold and or raining or thunder even. So it's a beautiful collaboration. So I do use a lot of found objects, man-made and natural. Uh, but I do use clay, but I am interested in sculpture and exploring sculpture further. And I usually have to make a lot of maquettes before I start something bigger. And these maquettes start take them apart. I would deconstruct them. And but yes, I think the main biggest thing in recent years is to try to make choices in my material and techniques which are more sustainable and more non-harming. I hope it gives it gives them a moment to uh, slow down, be present, and hopefully they feel the stillness that's embedded in my work. So in most artists they start with sketches. Then my work is definitely something that I have to start in the process of making. And only once I get to somewhere, then I can start sketching and developing these ideas further. For example, I could have never sketched this outcome before at the beginning of the journey. And it is very process based, and it involves research and also letting the material and the techniques and the site to talk to each other. So it's like collaboration between all of the different aspects, and and again absorbing and seeing how the material is talking in that space all the time. I like to say that a lot of my work starts from serendipitous encounters, which I think life is full of, and I think most things are already here. We just have to we just have to notice them. And again, this subtle little shifts and moments. So this project started definitely from a serendipitous encounter. But I have got, because I work over a long period of time, I have got several projects simultaneously in work, which allows me to walk in and out. And I think it's something I learned early on from the art school, but it encouraged us to walk away and come back with fresh eyes. So now I can look at the paintings or the works I'm working with and decide, extend and shorten this period of coming back and walking away. I think experimentation is everything. It's making mistakes and learning from it, and it allows us to grow, to evolve, and evolve our practice and to learn more. I hope it maybe they think of something that they haven't thought about before, or maybe maybe it reminds them about something that they already know but they've forgotten about. And if it evokes even a small little space of wonder and that they can deep with. And I think the work has done something good. I think by grounding through the experiences and environmental awareness, I contribute to this ongoing, involving dialogue about responsibility and collective responsibility. But I also tap with this particular work because it is a part of an installation, and I had an exhibition in the summer where I opened the site-specific work talking about a private space and the public space and blurring the boundaries between that. So it is an ongoing dialogue between, I think, various different ongoing themes. We're all related to somehow. I do look forward to going back to my studio. I am on my way to the airport to go back to these trees to my outside studio. And like I mentioned before, there are always several different projects in work simultaneously, and this work is also coming with a supporting video work with as a collaboration with my fellow student John, and now we're working on a couple of new projects already. So that would be exciting to develop the video work together with the sculpture, but also the research done are the supporters. So there are many new exciting things already in work. I hope to make more site specific work, and I wish to explore more techniques and materials around sculpture. And I think that the very big importance is in a collaboration and collaborating with the nature, but also other artists.